Welcome to Richa Publishing Minds, where timeless wisdom meets powerful storytelling. Today, we begin a new journey into some of the most unforgettable stories ever written. Our first episode brings you one of the Bible's most inspiring accounts, a story of courage, faith, and the victory of the impossible. This is the story of David and Goliath. The land of Israel was at war. On one hill stood the armies of Israel, anxious and uncertain. On the opposite hill, the Philistine warriors waited confidently. But between them stood a valley, and in that valley stood a giant. His name was Goliath, towering over 9 feet tall, wrapped in bronze armor, with a spear so heavy it seemed impossible for any normal man to lift. Every morning and evening for 40 days, he stepped forward and shouted a challenge, "Send a man to fight me. If he wins, we become your servants. But if I win, you become ours." The soldiers of Israel trembled. No one dared to step into the valley. Meanwhile, far from the battlefield, a young shepherd named David tended his father's sheep. He was the youngest of his brothers, not a soldier, not trained for war, but filled with faith and courage beyond his years. One day, his father sent him to deliver food to his brothers who were serving in the army. When David arrived, he heard Goliath's thunderous voice echoing across the valley. But unlike everyone else, David didn't run. Instead, he asked, "Who is this giant who dares to defy the armies of the living God?" His brothers scolded him. The soldiers laughed at the boldness of a boy. But David stood firm. He remembered something everyone else had forgotten: that battles are not won by strength alone, but by the power of the one who stands with you. David was brought before King Saul. The king looked at him in disbelief. "You are only a boy," Saul said. "How can you fight a giant?" But David answered with confidence, "I have fought lions. I have fought bears. The Lord who saved me then will save me now." Saul, seeing the determination in David's eyes, agreed. He placed his own armor on David, but it was too heavy, too unfamiliar. David removed it and chose instead the tools he knew best: his staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. As David stepped into the valley, both armies watched in stunned silence. Goliath laughed loudly when he saw him. "Am I a dog," he roared, "that you come at me with stones?" But David did not flinch. He replied, "You come to me with sword and spear. But I come to you in the name of the Lord Almighty." He placed a stone into his sling. He swung it once, twice, 3 times, and released it. The stone shot through the air, striking Goliath square in the forehead. The giant collapsed to the ground. Silence filled the valley. David had won. A shepherd boy had defeated the greatest warrior of his time, not with weapons, not with power, but with unshakable faith. The Philistines fled in fear. Israel rejoiced, and David's name became known throughout the land. The story of David and Goliath is more than a historical battle. It is a reminder that we all face giants, fear, doubt, hardship, and challenges that seem too big to overcome. But David teaches us something timeless: your giant is never bigger than your God. Faith transforms weakness into strength. Courage turns small steps into great victories. And when you trust in something greater than yourself, the impossible becomes possible. Thank you for joining us for this powerful Bible story. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share to support this series and help others discover these meaningful stories. Before you go, we want to hear from you. Which Bible story should we cover next? Comment your choice below. A. Noah's Ark. B. Daniel in the lion's den. C. Jonah and the whale. D. Moses and the Red Sea. Your vote will decide the next episode. Stay blessed, stay inspired, and we'll see you in the next story.